Alright guys, I am at one of my favorite places here in Florida called Wirewood Antiques. Today is kind of an off day, so I thought I would go and do something that made me happy and go see what I can find here at the local antique place. Don't discount antiques because antique places or thrift stores, because some people think that they're overpriced. Well, I can tell you can get some good deals. So let's go inside and see what we can find. So I just want to say how amazing this market is. They have amazing antiques and vintage. If you're ever in the Altamonte Springs, Florida area, definitely stop by and pay them a visit. You won't be sorry. So the reason why I have to do a voiceover is because they had some pretty loud speakers and I don't want to get, in trouble for copyright or anything like that. So again, I'm at the Wirewood Market. In this first booth here, I have found amazing things here. I found a vintage hutch for $65. That's currently in my kitchen and I love it. It's really cool to display different knickknacks and stuff on. But I love how this booth displays things, and I thought that would be kind of cool for Valentine's Day. It's not very, vintage or anything, so I did end up passing on it. And that shelving unit is made out of old crates, which I thought was amazing. And again, that's not too terribly old, so I did pass on it, but it is very cute. And a lot of that furniture in that back corner is really expensive but very nice. And I thought that yellow bookshelf was pretty interesting. I believe it says 125 on there. I just couldn't bring myself to pay that, but it is very nice. And someone redid an old hutch. I hope that it was damaged, but that hutch was very nice. And I'm sorry if I'm going pretty fast. This is my first time filming, and I just wanted to show how big this place is. And they have so many different cool little things that you can use to either upsell or just use in your own home. And that little table is very nice and not a bad price either. That vendor, I guess, is moving out of the market, so they're marking down a lot of their items. And again, today was just kind of an off day, and it was nice to get out of the house and clear my head and, see if I can find anything. Now, those French doors in the back are amazing. I wish I had a house I could put them and use them in, but unfortunately, sadly, I don't. Maybe one day. And this was a cool old dresser that someone had repainted black. Pretty cool. And those sconces were made out of old brass and they were very heavy, and I think they were $95 a piece. Very cool, but out of my price range. There's just so much to take in, and this is definitely one that you want to slow down and take your time. And I think I was a little nervous filming because this is my first time filming a shop with me. No, I thought these were cute because Misty and Jeffrey found these, and Misty said that she was the boy playing the horn and Jeffrey was putting his fingers in his ears. So I thought that was pretty funny that I found those. And for Misty, I did find some fairy lamps, two crystal clear ones and then an amber one. I did not buy them, but they were pretty cool, and a red one. And some brass candlesticks, which I thought were pretty cool, and those cats were pretty cool as well. Again, I apologize for the shaky camera. I will do better, I promise. Now, that small hutch in the back I was pointing at because I thought it was a really nice hutch, and it's 150, which is a little up there, but it's still pretty nice. And I like that it's smaller, so it doesn't take up a lot of room, and it would be cool to display little knickknacks and your collectibles on. Now, this back corner is where they put like any markdowns, and it's always kind of fun to look and see what they have back here. Now, I have been looking at these pair of vintage rooster and hen statues. I think they're Royal Copley, but don't quote me on that. Um, they want 28 for the pair. I just still thinking about it. And then I thought Misty, when I saw this, I thought Misty would like these old advertising, and it was Bond brand peanut butter, and it was heavy, so I don't know what's in that. I don't know if there's still peanut butter or what, but that chair with the Raggedy Ann and Andy, that was like a definitely King of Thrones type of chair. It's very awesome. And this back corner is always fun to kind of look at. They have different, old and vintage signs. I really did like that bakery sign. I used to own a bakery years ago, and one day I'll own another one, but I thought it was kind of cool. And we all know how Misty does not like her clowns, so she would definitely just look away, Misty. Just turn your head, don't look. They are kind of creepy looking, aren't they? I'm sorry, Misty, I shouldn't have even showed that. That little room divider is kind of cool. How do you guys feel when someone paints like an old piece of wood furniture white? I don't mind it if the furniture was too far gone to save. So if it's like an old table and it was just not worth saving, then there's no harm in painting it. But if it's a nice vintage or antique piece of wood furniture, don't paint it. My goal is to find some of this architectural salvage someday that is not an arm and a leg, because I do like how it looks on top of a bookshelf or, you know, as a piece of decor, but I just can't bring myself to pay $60 a piece for a piece of old wood. That armoire was really beautiful in person. Now, this was a really cool, I think, Victorian candlestick that someone used a top to a fairy lamp and hand painted it. I was almost going to buy it. It was $20. It was still nice. And I love old vintage linens and tea towels. Now, I thought that this lace coverlet would have been really cool, but it was really expensive. I quickly put that back. Beautiful nonetheless, but just a little out of my price range. And of course, old and vintage quilts are very nice. I did like that window with the shutters in the back. That was really cool how they had that displayed. That's a pretty cool hutch. Now over here is an old church pew, and I have been looking for one for my house, and I like how they painted it white and kind of distressed it and made it look kind of like a farmhouse. The price was a little out of my range. I believe it was like 250 or 300. I can't really remember, but it was really nice. That antique baby bed crib was really pretty. Now, this, I'm not quite sure what it was before it was repurposed, but I thought it was really neat how they painted the shelves on the inside green. That would be really cool for an office, for like if you want to put files in there. I thought it was really pretty. And I loved the wood on the outside. And of course, it's not in focus. I do apologize, but it was several $100s and it's worth it. I don't know what it was before its prior life, but it's very pretty. And there's some more antique or vintage linens. And that hutch was really cool too. I don't think it's too terribly old. And I was like looking at that um, piece of architectural salvage, and it was only 14, but when I picked it up and turned it around, it already had like a nail thing in it. So I'm thinking that that was one that you could buy like at Home Goods or something, not a true architectural salvage piece. So I passed. Those tea towels were really pretty as well. Now that was a really cool bed, an old, I don't know if it's antique or vintage, but it's very pretty. And I love how they had the religious relics mixed in with like cupids and vintage cherubs. Now this lamp was gorgeous with the crystals and everything. It was, I believe, 195. Really pretty. And those were some pretty plant stands that they had there mixed in with some like garden statues. And I thought that was pretty cool. And that's an interesting way to use an old chandelier. They put it on a floor lamp hook and rewired it. It was gorgeous as well. Would be very cute in a little girl's bedroom. And again, that window display has already been sold, but that was so cool how they reused and upcycled an old window frame. That was a very cute, ornate mirror, which would be very nicely redone in like an old gold. Now, these old silver plate items are really pretty with like big roses in them or any other kind of floral arrangements, and you can usually find them for a decent price. Made my way over to the other side of the market, and I really like how this booth mixed in industrial and a little bit of farmhouse and a little bit of Victorian. If you look at that sofa and bedroom set, that bedroom set would be gorgeous in a little girl's bedroom. And I was making my way over to the lamps when I noticed this concrete cherub bird bath for $25. Amazing price for that. Now, these lamps are so pretty with the crystals and the antique gold on them. Very pretty, like in a Victorian home. And then I've seen this religious relic before when shopping at this market, and it's made out of chalkware. And it's really pretty and would be very nice in a Victorian home mixed with other religious relics. Very pretty. Now, at this booth, I love how they use the skis with a reef on the wall, and that's a really interesting way to have a winter display and not tie it directly to Christmas. That can be up all winter long. And on the back wall, I love how they used an old Victorian mirror frame. It's a good way to upcycle a piece that may have been damaged. And that clock was very reminiscent of East Lake, very pretty. And that fireplace surround mantle was very nice. And across the aisle there, that tall dresser had hand painted roses, which was very well done. Now, this made me feel a little old. Who remembers going to the drive in movie theaters and putting these in your car window so you could hear the movie? That is really cool. I thought that was an interesting way to add some cool little kitschy fun into your house. I do like how they attach the sconces to those shutters. I really like that for a farmhouse type of feel, which my house is mid century modern farmhouse. It's a mix between the two. Now, this little section in the back here, these have like vintage books and whatnot, but I really like how they use those vintage Valentines to make a garland. What a unique way to upcycle some old Valentines and make a new decoration. I really like that suitcase. It would look really good in a guest bedroom. And here's another garland that they made out of some more vintage Valentine cards. And they were 25 bucks a piece, which I thought was kind of a neat way to use up some of these vintage Valentine cards. And there's just something really romantic about these old Valentine cards. Who remembers when you were in grade school and you used like the Peanuts or Garfield as Valentines? And I wanted to show you some up close pictures of these Valentines because they were really nice. I mean, look at his cute little face. He's just so cute. So much character, and they're just whimsical and really cute. This booth also sells bundles of books for decorating purposes, which I think is a really good idea. And they're only $21 a bundle. And I like how they group them together in color schemes so that way you can work it into the decor of each room that you want to add them into. Now, this booth across the hall here is really kind of cool, like very, very pink and very girly. Now, this booth over here, I have found some really cool things in. I found a old Santa Claus mug for $5, and it was hidden in the display. So I think someone was saving it or coming back for it. Their loss, my gain. Sorry. And they had some really cool vintage tea towels and pillowcases. Their prices started at $10. A little pricey for me, but they were really cool. Now, this one over here next door to it, they have some vintage Pyrex, and I love vintage Pyrex. Unfortunately, they just don't have what I collect. They had good prices at that booth. And they also had some vintage ball jars with zinc lids. They were really cool. I love that blue color. And I'm not sure if that is needlepoint or crewel. I don't really know for sure, but it was really pretty. Someone was really talented when they made that. And that vase, I loved the colors on it, the shape of it. It would be really nice to put like flowers in, like in the springtime, like for Easter. It would be really pretty. And I was looking at that Fenton Bowl. I have not seen them with a green rim around them. Really good price. I didn't get it though. And this is the booth where I found this Fenton vase, and it was $6. It's not marked anywhere that it's Fenton, but it was a really good price, and I thought it'd be super cute to put red roses for Valentine's Day. It would be a really good way to display some fresh flowers. And eventually it will focus, I promise. But this booth had some really neat old pictures of different people. Now, this market has a good collection of some vintage salvage items for your house, some architectural salvage. And my little piece of advice is if you are needing to replace a door or something like that, why not go to a place like this? Take your measurements, find an amazing, old door and put some history back into your home. Add some more value. I mean, they are just so nice. Now it might take some work to refinish them, but it's worth it. Now this booth was really cool, and I liked how they used an old laundromat basket to display their linens and tablecloths in. A really unique way to do that. Now that little doily was $5. It it was nice, but I it wasn't cool enough to bring home. I just thought that was such a neat way to display, and they had a lot of linens there, pillowcases, tablecloths. Now the shelf in the back corner there, I really like it. Unfortunately, it was not for sale. I do like that corner shelf. And I thought this was neat. They took some vintage um, fabric, some linens there, and made a face mask. How that is a really cool way to upcycle a piece of vintage linen so that way it gets a new life, and maybe it had a stain or whatnot, but it was a good way to reuse and upcycle a piece of vintage fabric. Now, this cabinet, I'm not sure what it was used for, but I thought it would be really cool, like in a farmhouse kitchen for like an extra pantry or just, store pretty much anything in. Really, it'd be kind of nice to store your linens in. This piece, oops, just one second. This piece looks like it's from in a library. It would be amazing in a office to store things in. So pretty. And there's some really nice French doors and a vintage fireplace surround. This place is really cool. I like how they use the sheet music to cover the walls of this booth, and those crystal lamps I thought were really, really nice. And that archway there that I just pointed to, I think is absolutely stunning. And I wish one day to have a piece like that in my home. Now, this booth here, I have found some really cool items before. I collect the Goebel Friar Tuck little creamers, sugars, salt and pepper shakers, and I found a set here at a really good price. Today, unfortunately, I didn't find anything in this booth, but I do have certain ones that I like to come back to because whoever has this booth, they do a really good job of finding interesting things. And some more architectural salvage, which is really cool. And it's kind of sad nowadays that homes are not built with the same character and quality that they used to be built with. Everything now is cookie cutter and so modern and plain Jane. Now that vintage sign was really neat. I like the age to it. That stained glass on the top of that hutch, those are really beautiful. Now over here, I found that TV lamp of those Siamese kittens. They have jeweled eyes. And my friend Beth would have loved to have something like this. It was $59, which I think is a really good price. And I might end up going back to get that for her, but I really think that was cool. Now, these things I use as plant holders to give height to a display. Unfortunately, that one didn't have a price on it. It's a good way to use some old silver plated items and get a new use out of them. That furniture was really nice. I like how it they repainted it white. This one had some really neat pieces in it, a mix of architectural salvage and some really cool furniture pieces and decor. They did a good job. Now in this booth, I really love that grocery sign there on the hutch. And it's really cool how they painted that basket red and put a heart in it for Valentine's. I'm not sure if that is a true vintage grocery sign. I just love the look of it, along with that stained glass window on the wall. Very nice. I really like that long cubby. piece of furniture on against the wall there. Very nice. I like how they use the old vintage game boards on the wall there as decor. That was really interesting. Never thought of doing something like that. This one had some really interesting items as well. I like how they set up the booth. It has a lot of interesting items in it. And that cabinet back here, the Curio Cabinet, had a really nice piece of Fenton hobnail in the top there. Really pretty. And then there was some other vintage milk glass in there. I'm not quite sure who made it, but it was really interesting. Now, this one had some like gift items, not so much really vintage or antique items. They were more like, like little cool gifts that you would give to someone for their birthday or something like that. Little fun gifts. Now that antique secretary desk, um, it was a really cool piece. The glass was missing in the doors, but I like that gray color that they painted it. And this seller sadly is going to be leaving as well. So the majority of their items were marked down too. But they had a lot of neat like farmhouse type items and stuff like that. Over here, I thought this was really interesting. This is a local artist who does glass. She makes glass items, necklaces, bowls, plates, and stuff like that. I love the colors in them, and the earrings were really cute as well. Um, I'm gonna have to find out, research some more about the artist, but I thought they were really cool art piece glasses. And this buffet someone had redone, and it was really pretty. I like the design of it. I just want to thank everyone for watching my first shop with me. It was a lot of fun to film. I was a little nervous and I am so sorry about all the shaking camera, but I will definitely get better with time. So please, if you like the video, will you please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing and clicking the little bell notification so that way you get notified when I upload a new video. So stay tuned, you guys stay blessed, and I'll talk to you soon.